Hi everybody, in this video we are going to be looking at my Surly Long Haul Trucker. This is a world touring bike. Chapter 1 is an overview of my Surly Long Haul Trucker touring bike.
Hi everybody, I'm going to give you a quick tour of my Surly Long Haul Trucker. This is a touring bike, and as you can see, we got the main rack back here, and I put the panniers, the front panniers on the rack there, so you can see how it looks. The other interesting thing is on here the pedals, they're good mountain bike pedals, and these are 11 liters each. Also, the main thing too is when you're packing them, you want to keep it really light because they really do affect the handling. It becomes really unstable. It's a pain. It's a pain, quite honest. I don't like putting front panniers. I do it only as a last minute. I have done it where I've toured on this, and you need it. That's the fact. I think the best way to describe the difference between this and the trike is you can think of the trike as a car, and this is a motorcycle. The car is a lot more comfortable, better for long distances, but the motorcycle will be more fun to ride. You get the thrill, and that's the way that we compare diamond frame to a trike. When it comes down to touring, the trike beats, other than speed, they're slow. In fact, when I would cruise at about 15k, and this one I cruise at 20k, so that's a heck of a difference. In fact, I would say when I would go to Home Depot from home, it was about 15k ride. That's 15 kilometers, and took me 45 minutes on this bike, but over almost an hour and a half on the trike, so it's double the speed. It just seems to be a lot slower. But when it's raining, the trike is far better, especially once I put that top on, the rain top that I had over winter. That made life great when it was raining. But this is fast. It's easy to maneuver. You can get in and out, and it's just good that way. And here I really don't have the space or a dedicated garage to store the trike, so I'm just using this. Hopefully till October, and then I'll be going back down to New Zealand. The main panniers are actually en route to New Zealand, so they should be there anytime. But these ones, they're 11 liters, they're just really too small for anything. They're not really great for groceries. You put about a 4-liter thing of milk and 1 liter of cream, and that's it. It's full, and it's hard to get it in because they barely fit. So, as I said, you usually put it on. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take this off. The other thing too is I got for the trike, I got my medical kits, which I keep all my diabetic stuff. So if I get low, I got a juice and chocolate bars and granola bars on handy, and I do get low. But as to say, the way I describe this bike, my daughter asked me, well, what type of bike is it? I said, it's a touring bike. And she asked, what do you mean? And I said, if you wanted a bike to cross the Himalayas, this is the bike. And it's done that. It has crossed the Himalayas. A lot of people use these as world tours. They're quite famous. But I think as you get older, I'm going to be 73 in October, and I think I'll probably end up getting another trike. I'll definitely get a power assist trike, because I think at this stage, I'm finding hills lately, when it comes to a steep hill, it's just easier for me to walk it up than try cycling up. I grind as far as I can and think, nah, I'm just going to get off and walk it. I'm lazy. But here, I'll take this off and put it back on the rear. Okay, that ends part 1. Hopefully I got my head in the picture this time. Yay!
In Chapter 2, we are going to be looking at the cockpit. And yes, I love my gadgets.
Okay, so this is the handlebars. These are called butterfly handlebars or touring handlebars. And the nice thing about these is, normally I ride like that. In a trail, you want to be down there. It's not as there, but when you're touring, you can move your hands here, or here, here, or here. Or if your hands really get really sore, you can do this, and that's the big thing. I mean, you can do that resting, so you can ride hours. So it doesn't put any pressure on your hands. So that's the really advantage of these bars.
This is looking at on the port side of the bike, or the left side. I added this cheap mirror here. I've got I've got 2, and this acts. Had the second bar raised there, so I can add it as an accessory mount for the trunk bag to keep my medical stuff. And the butterfly bars, as you can see, they sort of come down. There isn't a lot of space there, so that would be very hard to add to it. My original Miracle mirrors on a regular bar they're great. If they stick there, they're too far, so I had to. The only thing I couldn't find that actually worked was this really cheap mirror I got from Walmart, and it distorts, but at least it is in the right position. If I upgrade this bike, I'm thinking about upgrading it and putting a power assist on a Tongshine motor. Then I'll have to put straight bars to get the thing, and then I'll put the Miracle back. They are fantastic. I had them on the trike. And there's the bell, and there's that flasher. The main light, 1200 lumen light. This is really awesome, this 1200 lumen light. But when I'm if you got the light at night, I like to have the flasher going, so when cars coming to you, they know you're a bike. They see the flasher. And then, of course, there's my GoPro camera. So we're taking pictures. And the advantage on this, I've got really nice. I got my speed here. This controls the front, the main 3 rings here. This is my 10 shifter in the back here. And then I added this extension bar up here to mount the GoPro and the light and everything else. But when you see I'm here, I've got to look down that way to see the mirror. Also, when I had a flat bar on here, the bar came out to about there. So these are quite a bit narrower than a normal mountain bike bar. But if I convert this into a power assist, then I'm going back to the mountain bike bar. And that's more real estate, so I probably won't need that extension. In Chapter 3, we are going to look at the bits and bobs, or all the little extra pieces. I like the term bits and bobs. So, as you see, this certainly has a lot of bottle mounts. There's the 3 mounts. There's one here, one there, and one there. And this is my main water bottle. This is really easy to grab. This is my reserve bottle, and down there I keep all my basic tools I need in a hurry. That's really handy. That found that at Bike Doctor in Vancouver, and that was the last one. And it's been hard to get another one. I've got one that's a bit longer, but this size just seems to work. When I'm going touring, I need to carry a lot more water, and I replaced this with a special water bottle cage, and I'll show to you that right in a few seconds. And this is it. When touring, I put in this large case, and that takes a standard 1.5 liter bottle, which you can buy from the store, and you can always fill it up. And that's really handy when you get to the campsite, because you got a lot of water for cooking and all that. So I always have that. So I carry the standard water bottle, this big one here, and of course a hydration pack. So I have lots of water. And I don't know, when I'm biking, I seem to need a lot more water.
Well, this is a Brooks saddle, and this one, these springs here give a bit of support. When I first got it, this thing was horribly uncomfortable. Eventually, it took me about a year to start breaking this in. And the funny thing is, the more I ride this, the more comfortable it gets. And this is now starting to become comfortable. But the trouble is, somebody else sits on this bike and won't be comfortable with them because it really starts contouring to one person. So it takes about 2 years really before they start getting comfortable. I mean, they'll last forever. It's a hard leather saddle, and I got some saddle soap that I use to keep it moist and all that. It's a fair amount of work, and they're expensive. I mean, they're double the price of a good quality saddle. You can buy a good quality saddle for about $100 flush and everything else, and these things are, well, this thing's over $200.
Okay, because this is a Sturdy Longhorn is actually a chrome moly frame, and it's a 26-inch wheel, because these are a little bit stronger than a 29, and it's got a really heavy spoke pattern and the heavy spokes, and you carry it, and on the frame there's 2 spare spokes right here. These are basically a lot of people use these when they're touring down in South America where there's very little support. And to make it simpler, we'll zoom up to the brakes. They're pretty simple brakes on them, so that they can be repaired easily by yourself or any bike mechanic anywhere else. But the nice thing about these brakes, they're really easy to adjust and to modify, and you can do these anywhere. I sometimes find that these came up, so I put an extra tie around there just to be on the safe side. And the other thing too, I added this here. This stops. This is really handy. It slows down the twist of the bike, and when you got the front panniers, it makes it much more stable. So there's just a spring here, and you can adjust the tension on there. So it just keeps the wheel straight. Of course, the tires are all Presta valves, and I'm running Schwalbe Marathon Supremes on both front and back, and they're fantastic. And all the years I've had it, I've only had one puncture where I got something really sharp and actually punctured the Kevlar, but barely punctured it, and it was just a slow leak. Any other tire would have shredded it, so they're really good. Okay, and we'll finally finish off. Now the front crankset is a Shimano Diora, and it's a 42, 32, 22 crankset, so it's really quite low. So this is not a speed demon, but it's, when you got, especially when it's loaded up, it really helps with climbing. And here again, there's the mountain bike pedals that really can show. And on the rear cassette here, it's a 10-speed Shimano XT. So this is a really nicely geared bike. Well, that completes the tour of my Sturdy Long Haul Trucker. In my next video, we'll be comparing diamond frame bikes versus recumbent tadpole trikes. Stay tuned for that video. Should be interesting. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember that, again, my next video is going to be comparing a standard bike versus a recumbent trike. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Bye!